Howdy there, my name's Caleb Gwynn, and today I'm going to give you a little speech on the non-timber valuables, which are things such as ginseng, golden seal, there's some fungus, just anything in your woods other than trees that can be valuable and can be used to make a profit. So let's jump right into this. So as I mentioned before, the first things we're going to talk about here are some of your diggable roots, which are mostly medicinal value. Things like ginseng, golden seal, bloodroot, black cohosh, and there's many, many more. You can find list of these things all over, Facebook and different websites of companies looking for these diggable roots they can dry and sell. So some things you're going to need to know about the prices first. So the markets for these are very volatile. They can go shooting through the roof. They can be kind of low. Ginseng especially is the big one. It's pretty much king. It's the one everybody wants. So with ginseng, it's always going to be valuable, but that valuable can range from $100 or a couple $100 per pound to as high as like $10,000 per pound, depending on the quality of your roots and where you found them. Like a really pristine, high quality ginseng root that was harvested in the wild is going to be extremely valuable. Like that's a piece of gold, really. Um, Golden seal and bloodroot aren't as sought after, but you can still get some really good prices per pound for those guys. Like all of these roots and all of these diggable roots go from anywhere from like $5 to $6 per pound up to like 10, 30, 40. Like there's a price range for all of these guys. And many of them are worth it if you're willing to go out and look for them and do the work to dig them up and dry them out and sell them. So unfortunately, there are some challenges that harvesters of these roots have to go through, and so we're going to look at a couple of these now. So the two big ones are again ginseng and golden seal. Ginseng is unfortunately becoming more and more depleted. There's not nearly as much of it as there should be, and that's due to very high demand and low supply. When you have a high demand and a low supply, the price is, of course, going to go up because it's rarer, and that encourages poaching and over harvesting and just shady practices. People going out and just clearing out whatever they can get because they want money. So yeah, ginseng especially, you got your poaching, your over harvesting. There's also habitat loss that goes into it. And these things, ginseng grows really slow. It can take 5 to 10 years for a ginseng root to be mature enough to dig up. So that's another challenge it faces. People will dig them up before they're ready, not knowing what goes into it. And golden seal, it's actually on the endangered species list. It's at risk of going extinct because of overharvest and habitat loss. Some of the same challenges of ginseng. Um, Many of the other roots I know are more common, but they aren't nearly as valuable as these two. Like the ginseng and the golden root are worth their weight in gold sometimes, and that makes it harder on the species. So, as people who like to go out and find these things and not just profit off of them, but use them and keep those traditions alive, it can be important for us to know what we're doing and to sustainably harvest them like we do with timber. How can we keep them growing? How can we make sure that not just us can benefit from them, but the next generations can benefit from them? So that's a big thing with some of these roots. It's the same thing as timber. You got to make sure that the future generations will be able to profit off of these the same way we're able to. And so the last thing I want to touch on before we get out of here, I know spent most of my time on the diggable roots, are mushrooms, fungus. There are a ton of wild edible mushrooms that grow around Ohio. We are lucky enough to live in the kind of environment where these many, many species grow in each different season. Like for every season, there's a handful of really good edible mushrooms that are really sought after in certain circles. Like a really good example, probably the biggest one, is the morel mushroom, which is really popular and in high demand. Another really good one that grows in the summertime is summer chanterelles. For just an example, those can be anywhere from $20 to $40 per pound for mushrooms that are dried online. Um, yeah, and there's many others. There's some polypore mushrooms like chicken of the woods. I mean, there's puffballs, there's lion's mane, there's oysters. There's a big market for wild edible mushrooms just because they're delicious. People want to eat them, restaurants need them. And yeah, that's another really good non-timber valuable that's really worth getting out there and finding. And the thing about fungus, the good thing is they aren't nearly as rare or at risk as some of your diggable roots. They pop up, where they should be. They're a lot easier to find. They're very sustainable, and it's really worth going out and finding them. Well, that's my 6 minutes. Thank you for listening. I hope I taught you something. Peace.